In this podcast episode, the hosts welcome filmmaker John Carney to discuss his new film, Flora and Son, and his passion for music in his movies. They also talk about the process of casting actors who can sing and the impact of music in their own lives. The hosts begin by congratulating the writers on settling the WGA strike and express their hope for the actors' strike to be resolved soon. They then introduce John Carney and discuss his evolution in musical tastes throughout his filmmaking career. Carney explains that he lets the characters in his films dictate the music rather than imposing his own tastes on the audience. He also mentions that he tries to find plausible character-driven songs that fit the story. The conversation then shifts to the filmmaking choices and narrative decisions in Flora and Son. The hosts highlight a particular scene where the camera moves around the character while she plays the guitar, and Carney explains that it was a visual way of tracking her journey and her evolving relationship with music. He also discusses the importance of finding the right balance between the computer sound and the in-person sound in the scene. The hosts ask Carney about his own experiences with music and if he has ever been guilty of dismissing someone's taste in music or film. Carney admits that he can be pretentious about music and often finds himself criticizing certain songs or genres. He mentions his dislike for babyish and infantilized jingles and expresses his preference for more complex and meaningful music. The conversation then turns to Carney's background in music and how it has influenced his filmmaking. He talks about his early days in a band called The Frames and his love for experimenting with music videos. He explains that he had to learn about drama and storytelling to incorporate music into his films effectively. The hosts discuss the casting process in Carney's films and whether he looks for actors who can sing or singers who can act. Carney explains that in his earlier films, he looked for singers who could act, but in Flora and Son, the focus was more on the acting rather than the singing. He wanted the songs to be plausible for the character and not necessarily showcase exceptional singing skills. The hosts then ask Carney about his favorite needle drop in movie history. Carney mentions P.T. Anderson as someone who does it well and cites the use of Supertramp songs in his films as a standout example. He also mentions Rian Johnson's use of a Steely Dan song in the TV show Poker Face and how it made him smile. The conversation continues with a discussion about the emotional impact of songs and how they can help people work through their emotions. Carney shares his personal experience with Tom Waits' song, Kentucky Avenue, and how it made him cry. He emphasizes the importance of context and how someone curating music for you can make a significant impact. The hosts continue by talking about the movie, Flora and Ulysses, which is based on a children's book and follows the story of a young girl and her superhero squirrel. They praise the film for its heartwarming story, strong performances, and the way it combines live action and animation. They also discuss the importance of music in the film and how it enhances the emotional impact of certain scenes. Next, they discuss The Creator, the latest film from director Gareth Edwards. They highlight the film's impressive visual effects and cinematography, as well as its emotional depth. They also mention the unique aspect ratio used in the film and how it adds to the overall viewing experience. While they have some minor criticisms, such as the pacing in the final act, they highly recommend the film and praise Edwards for his filmmaking skills. The hosts then move on to discuss Saw X, the latest installment in the Saw franchise. They express their surprise and enjoyment of the film, noting that it feels fresh and revitalizes the franchise. They appreciate the film's storyline, which takes place between the first and second Saw films, and focuses on the character of Jigsaw. They also mention the grisly traps in the film and the emotional depth of the story. After reviewing the films, the hosts discuss Carney's approach to filmmaking and the importance of music in his films. Carney shares his insights on the power of music to evoke emotions and create a connection with the audience. He also talks about the challenges and rewards of making independent films and the impact of his work on viewers. Throughout the podcast, the hosts emphasize the importance of storytelling and the role of music in enhancing the emotional impact of films. They appreciate the unique perspectives and voices of filmmakers like John Carney and Gareth Edwards, who bring their own vision and style to their projects. They also discuss the impact of current events, such as the WGA strike and the rise of artificial intelligence, on the film industry. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe.